Why it's hard to love when you have CPTSD. Some of you know one of the things that got me into CPTSD and studying it was a past relationship that I had. And there was a point, this moment of clarity, where my ex-girlfriend, or the girlfriend that I had at the time, um, she wrote a letter to me, and she said in the letter, I know that it's frustrating. I know that it's got to be frustrating to be in a relationship with someone like me because of my sabotaging behavior. But I've been doing some research and I recognize that these are due to my subconscious beliefs, especially the belief that I cannot be loved. And so I understand that you're saying you love me, but I'm constantly trying to find a reason for that not to be true, or the belief that if someone does love me, then there has to be something wrong with them. She said, I don't want you to try to help me with this. I want to figure this out on my own, and I'm going to. And about 1 to 2 months later, she sabotaged her way out of our relationship. And I didn't feel frustrated at the time, but it is saddening when you've built something together with someone and there's genuine love there, but they can't bring themselves to believe it and to be able to benefit from the real love that's there. And some of you who are listening to this call have sabotaged relationships, and sometimes with reasonably good people. And so why is it hard for someone with CPTSD to love or to feel love? Why does love feel so hard when you struggle with complex trauma? Well, you may have felt confused or uncomfortable when someone said that they truly loved you, or when you could sense that maybe they truly loved you. Maybe you pulled away, maybe you doubted it. And if you're like that, you're not alone. For people with CPTSD, love can make them feel unsafe. Complex trauma develops from repeated trauma over time, often in childhood. And that trauma came from relationships. That trauma came from people who were supposed to have loved you. So your struggle to accept love is not a flaw, it's a protective response that taps into some of the things you use to help you survive your childhood or the trauma. But your brain is now kind of wired, if you will, to associate love, attachment, or closeness with danger, pain, feeling trapped. So we're going to examine some of um, the bad programs, if you will. Just like a computer system, your brain has programs or beliefs that it runs on, that it operates on. So you may have distorted core beliefs about yourself or about love that makes accepting love so hard. An example of this is, I'm unlovable. That's a distorted belief. It's a faulty program. It's like having a virus in your computer system. I'm unlovable. People who feel like they are unlovable have worse relationships, and they do worse in every single area of life statistically, just because of this core belief. It is one of the most detrimental viruses, faulty programs that we could have. This idea, I am unlovable, or I am only loved when I perform or please. I am only loved when I perform or please. Real unconditional love conflicts with these beliefs. It feels suspicious. It feels uncomfortable. Why would that person love me when I know that I'm not lovable? Something must be wrong with them. Why would that person love me when I haven't done anything to earn it? Something must be wrong with them. This is a very, very detrimental belief, and it's unacceptable to continue teaching yourselves things like this. But it's the reason why love is so hard for you. I'll talk about how we can unprogram these beliefs, but there are more. For many with trauma, you might feel like you have to earn love, or you feel guilt when someone gives you love freely. You feel like you have to earn love, or you feel guilty when someone gives it freely. Does that sound familiar? This is a faulty program. This is a detrimental way of thinking. For others, because of the years of abuse, you have hypervigilance and fear of betrayal. So your brain is on a constant alert, always watching for danger. You read people's facial expressions and body language and listen to tones because for you, you're watching for the risk and you are risk adverse. The problem with love requires intimacy, and intimacy equals risk. Intimacy equals risk. So the closer someone gets, the more threatening it can feel. And every kindness actually triggers thoughts like, what if they hurt me later? What if this is just a trick? What if this is not who they really are? What's their hidden motive? What am I missing here? Because truly, they can't just love me, right? I got to find the hidden motive. This is faulty programming. This is detrimental thinking, and it leads you to be incapable of having a properly loving relationship. For some, you were the freezers, the people who just kind of hide under the covers in order to survive the traumatic childhood. And so you numb emotionally or you dissociate emotionally. And so when love is offered, you think, well, I know they care, but I can't feel it. And this makes it hard to trust or to enjoy connection because just the idea of these people around you and starting to connect makes you dissociate, makes you go into yourself. And then you become that weird person who is like off in another world instead of being able to stay here in the present and to just connect. For many, though, it's fear of dependency. In the past, depending on people meant harm, it meant control. Maybe you had that over controlling mother, wouldn't even let you leave the house. So love can feel like if I let them in, then I'll be trapped. Maybe you had the over controlling parents that didn't allow you to disagree with them. So love can feel like if I rely on them, I'll lose myself. If I let them in, I'll lose myself. If I rely on them, I'll feel trapped. I'll be trapped. I prioritize freedom and independence. And then we become avoidant because we're so afraid of losing our freedom and our independence in a relationship that we can't love. But all of this is really just spiraling from trauma. It's not just that we like freedom and it's we can't love as a result, but we've taken it to another extreme. For others, it's a shame and self-blame cycle. Trauma creates toxic shame. Bad things happen because I'm bad. So that's a shame belief. And if you have core shame beliefs when you're being loved, the inner critic pops up. I don't deserve this. If they see the real me, they'll leave. They just love my facade. They don't love the real me. If they find out what I'm really like, they're not going to like me anymore. You can see how this is making it difficult to have a loving relationship. A loving relationship, to be able to accept love, means that you have to have different beliefs about love. For instance, that love is abundant and you have to be loving yourself, which means to be able to come outside of your own fears, look at the other person and give them what they need, but not in a self-compromising, people-pleasing way, but in an ability to sacrifice with measure and compassion and with limitations. And when you hit those limitations, you would be able to express those limitations with boundaries. When you have two people like this who are epic, epic is an acronym for having empathy, personal power, intelligence, and compassion. When you have two people in a relationship that have empathy for one another, things can start clicking. When they operate with one another and themselves with personal power, it means they're able to take responsibility. They take action for one another and themselves. They speak up. Things are clicking. When they're intelligent, that means they use wisdom, so they don't foolishly sabotage their life and tear down their house with their own hands. That's intelligence. That's wisdom. And when they operate with compassion, love for the other person, it means they focus on everything that is good about the other person instead of focusing on everything that is bad, because they want to convince themselves that nobody who's good could truly love them. So they try to find the problem with the person. A relationship between two epic people can work. You could have a good relationship, but it's not just about finding a good partner, it's about being a good partner as well. So you have to reprogram those old programs, those old beliefs. And that's what I'm going to help you with right here, right now. We're going to go in to the computer system and rewire that sucker so that we get the proper beliefs around love, vulnerability, right? First of all, we need to practice pausing 5 to 7 seconds. A lot more of that will stop a lot of the running away and the sabotaging and the ghosting and the arguments and the blocking and all that stuff. Just pause 5 to 7 seconds. That was 5 to 7 seconds. That's it. That's how long it takes to stop sabotaging your life and your relationships. Just 5 to 7 seconds. Give yourself some time before you respond, before you react. Give yourself a moment. We have to change our relationship with risk, because vulnerability equals risk, right? So instead of living your life in constant fear of, oh no, if it's risky, I don't want to do it because I don't want to get hurt, try to recognize that a part of being an adult, a part of growth, is knowing that risk is a necessary component of success, of every type of success. Does that make sense? So you take risks every day. Most of you leave the house almost every day. And if you're leaving the house, that's risk, is it not? Walking to your job, your work, your school, or driving, both of those are very risky things to do, are they not? Yet you do them every day. So you don't have a problem taking risks. You just need to apply the same philosophy you use taking risks in these areas of life to your relationships. Again, you don't have a problem taking risks. You're leaving your house and you're driving or walking. That's risk, and you know it. You know that bad things could happen out there, but you do take the risks. So what are you doing that you need to do here inside of relationships? What are you doing there that's different? You're probably recognizing, number one, that risk is a necessary component to getting what you want. It's the same in relationships. Number two, you're operating in a way that mitigates the risks. What does that mean? To mitigate something means to lessen the likelihood of it going wrong. So probably when you drive a car, you probably try to drive safe. You're vigilant. You wear a seatbelt. You're mitigating the risk. When you walk, you probably would try to walk on the sidewalks, on the shoulder of the road. You're careful about what side of the road and how you're walking, right? So that you're mitigating the risks of getting struck by a vehicle. That's mitigation. So you can mitigate the risks in relationships as well by being well boundaried, being assertive, and vetting the people that you go into relationships with. That's mitigating the risk. Does it make it impossible for you to ever get hurt? No. Does it make it less likely? Yes. So be well boundaried and highly assertive. You can enroll in Boundaries School, which is a school inside of Healing School. It's a course inside of Healing School on my website. It's also available on TikTok under Series on my TikTok page. Your tiny steps towards vulnerability, starting with small connections, safer connections, accepting compliments, letting someone hold the door for you, sharing one small truth about yourself, brings you gradually, with mitigation, forward into more vulnerability and to increasing intimacy, increasing trust. And eventually, you will find that you are capable of doing this. Instead of letting the fear guide you, you can be guided by an actual purpose or plan. You can be guided by love for not just the other person, but for yourself. For yourself. It's possible, despite the fact that someone has hurt you, despite the fact that you've been harmed, it's possible to love again. But you need to believe that. It's also possible to be loved. And so we have to challenge these internal thoughts in the way that we talk to ourselves. We have to challenge these internal thoughts in the way we talk to ourselves. This is a good time to get your pen, get a piece of paper, and let's address some of these common CPTSD ways of thinking. Let's start with I'm unlovable, possibly the worst, most hideous, unacceptable way of thinking. This is in no way helpful. So this is something that has to be completely eliminated from your life. Every human is lovable, true or false. There's no such thing as a human that's born innately unlovable, like they had no potential to have been lovable. Of course, as a human grows up and they start to do things, they can act in a way that makes it harder to love them. But every human is fundamentally lovable from the start. There's no baby that's born. You don't pick up the baby and go, oh no, nobody could love this one. You understand? So you were born as a human baby, therefore you're born lovable in your natural state. Write that down. I was born lovable. Your lovableness is innate. It's intrinsic to what you are, what you were created as. Done. So now let go of the unlovable. That's unacceptable to say. Why? Because if you can't say it to a child that you're caring for, then you don't say it to yourself. That would be a very, very abusive thing to say to a child. You're unlovable. No, you don't say that ever to a child. Never. No matter how angry you are. No, you would say instead, you're absolutely lovable. You are absolutely lovable. You're wonderful. You're worthy. Right? So we change that belief. Another one, I'm only loved when I perform or when I do something to earn love. I'm only loved when I perform or I do something to earn love. Now, first of all, we've already established that we're innately lovable. Did a baby have to do something to earn love? Why is the baby loved? Why is the baby lovable if it didn't have to do anything to earn love? Just born that way. As a mechanism of being a baby child, a baby human, it's already born lovable. Even baby animals are lovable, are they not? So just accept that you're just lovable. So do you have to perform to get love? No, no. Do you have to achieve to get love? You do not. You do not. From some people, yeah, some people hold their love back. They make their love conditional. Some people make their love conditional. Does that make sense? But but you don't need to try to get their love. Why? Because the love that you should be concerned with is the love that you already have for yourself and the abundant love that's already around you in the universe. So you should see love as abundant. It's everywhere. You're lovable, you're worthy of it. If someone gives it to you, great. That just lines up with your beliefs and views of yourself. But if someone's not giving it to you, okay, that's up to them, right? It's up to them. You don't need it from them, though, if you're loving yourself. Does that make sense? It's just like you would tell your child if your child said, hey, there's this person at school that doesn't love me. You would say, well, I love you, right? Do that for yourself as well. If there's a guy that's not loving you, detach from him and say, well, I love me. If your adult child is not loving you, detach from them and say, well, I love me. If your parent still doesn't love you, detach from them and say, I love me and I'm loved. I'm loved in this universe, right? I'm loved by heavenly bodies. I'm loved by myself. I am lovable. And maybe some of the people who will love me in the future haven't met me yet. In fact, definitely. I will be loved only more and more because I'm already worthy of love, and love is abundant. And love doesn't necessarily have to be ultra conditional. It's not something I need to earn. It's not something I have to perform for. Does that make sense? When you let go of that, now you're not as easily controllable. You see, narcissists, psychopaths, and abusers look for people who believe in conditional love and try to earn love because you guys are the most controllable. And you ask yourself, why do I attract these types of people? Well, because you act like you have to earn people's love. And so they see that and they go, that's the one I want right there. You see, when you don't believe you have to earn love, you become impenetrable to a narcissist. There was actually, I was talking to, I don't know if he was a narcissist, but he was trying to manipulate me in some way. And he was like, yeah, you know, a lot of people don't like you, he says to me. And I said, I don't care. Do you think I care? This doesn't mean anything to me. That would be a sticking point when we have that trauma that we haven't healed. You see, that would be a real deep sticking point for a lot of people. They go, oh, I'm not liked. Oh, no, that's terrible. To me, I laughed at him. I told him, I said, you have a toxic way of communicating. And then what does the nurse say? You have a toxic way of communicating. Right? It's like, well, now you're doing, I'm rubber and you're glue. You know what I mean? Like, what are you even talking about? You're just turning around what I'm saying to you instead of reflecting because what you just said to me was abusive. Why would you walk up to somebody and tell them a lot of people don't like you? That doesn't make sense. But the reality is that's not even true. I don't believe that. One, because one, it wouldn't be beneficial for me to believe it. Two, I don't care. I'm not worried about that. Why? Because I believe I'm inherently lovable, and the people that will like me are going to be my type of people. I don't have to go around trying to be liked by someone. I just got to try to be me, which is easy. I'm the best at being me, and you're the absolute best at being you. Simple, right? So just be you. Don't worry. If someone informs you the latest news of the day, people don't love you, people don't like you, you got to be like, I don't care. That's not my job to get people to like me and love me. It's my job to be me, which is it's the good news because I'm natural at it. It's just what I am by default. Another toxic belief is I feel guilty when love is given freely. I feel guilty when love is given freely, or unconditional love feels suspicious. Write this down. Love is abundant in the universe. It's abundant. You need not feel guilty for breathing oxygen. You need not feel guilty for drinking water. These are abundant resources. Love is like that. It's like oxygen, it's like water. It's all around, all around. So much love, so much love. You're walking through it, you're swimming in it. That's how you have to picture love. It's that simple. With that new belief, do you feel guilty when someone gives you freely love? No, you're like, oh, that sounds about right. They say, hey, I love you so much. I think you're amazing. I think you're wonderful. And you go, oh my God, thank you. I think so too. Why? Because you have the new belief. The new belief. It's abundant. It's abundant. I love myself. I'm loved. I'm lovable. There's so much love. And so somebody comes up to you, they got unconditional love. You say, thank you so much. but I didn't need it, but thank you. There's so much love all around me. This is just proof of love. There's so much love, right? It's not conditional. It's not suspicious. Someone loves you. A lot of people worry about love bombing. Well, I don't want to get love bombed, right? And we're trying to like keep ourselves safe. Don't worry about it. Let yourself get love bombed. It's fine. Bring it on. Bring on all the love. You're going to stay safe because the moment you see the incongruence, then you set up the boundary, the assertiveness. Hey, you said that you this and now you're doing that, and that's not making sense. Or hey, you're not keeping up the bombing. I like the bombing. You got a carpet bomb the love on me, and all of a sudden you're not doing it. That doesn't make sense to me. That's incongruent. Bam, you're done. Does that make sense? The love bombing is not the problem. We think that that's the problem. That's not the problem. It's just the moment they stop, don't chase it. That's what you do. The moment they stop, you just sit there, still like, where's the love? What happened to the love? Hey, you got to come over here. You'd be like, no. As soon as you return back to the love bombing state that you were in, we're going to be good. But right now, I'm not liking this. That's how you stay safe. It's not by trying to analyze what's their hidden motive. That's another one. Worried about what the hidden motive is. Oh, they're loving me now, but I wonder what the hidden motive is, or what if they hurt me later? That's not how you keep yourself safe, because we can't read people's feelings or their heart. We can't read people's motives. We can't read their mind. So we don't know if people have hidden motives. How do I know if the person who's loving me is just doing that because that's their personality, or if they're doing it because they have hidden motives? How do I know? I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. I don't, it doesn't matter to me. It's not my job to read your motive. So how do I keep myself safe? Boundaries and assertiveness, standards. As soon as they do something to break my standards, to violate my boundaries, which means to make me uncomfortable, then I'm assertive. And I tell them what the issue is, or I just enforce by walking away. That's how I keep myself safe. Does that make sense? It's just that simple. I don't need to know your motive. I just need to accept whatever it is when I see it, then that's what it is. Does that make sense? I'll give you a quick example. So let's say I walked into a car dealership and there was a sales agent and she's really nice to me. Hey, you look so nice. Hey, handsome, nice tie, blah, 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 blah. I don't need to worry about the motive. And just, oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. But the moment she starts to violate anything that makes me feel uncomfortable, that's when I just can be assertive and say, oh, no, thank you. I'm not interested in buying a car. Done. You understand? So you don't have to worry about understanding and analyzing and assessing what the hidden motive is. If down the line someone does something that's incongruent or that makes you uncomfortable, then you take action right there, right then. What about the fear of losing yourself? The fear of being trapped. If I let them in, I'll lose myself. If I rely on them, I'll end up trapped because we had the mom, the dad that was overly controlling. So now we're living in that constant state of fear. How can we address that? Write this down. New belief. Relationships are not a trap. They don't take away my freedom, and I don't lose myself in a relationship. It's just that simple. When you fear that you're going to lose yourself, it's because people who lose themselves don't assert themselves. If you assert yourself, you don't lose yourself. If you have the ability to walk away, you're not trapped. Done. And you can write that down. If I assert myself, I can't lose myself. If I can walk away, then I can't be trapped. It is that simple. And then finally, the idea of I don't deserve this, or if they see the real me, they'll leave. I don't deserve this, or if they see the real me, they will leave. These are detrimental beliefs, detrimental programs. What's the new program that can help us with this? First of all, for deservedness, I deserve all the best. It's a more beneficial program. By virtue of being born, you deserve love. You deserve all the best. You know that. A baby that's born deserves all the best. You don't look at that baby and go, I don't know if they deserve a lot of opportunity and rich abundance and luxury. No, no, no. Every baby deserves the best, right? So by virtue of being born, you already deserve all the best that the planet has to offer. Okay. As far as they're going to see the real me and they're going to leave, good. That would be a good thing. You want people to leave as fast as possible, so be as real as possible right away. You want people to leave as fast as possible, so be as real as possible right away. Why is it good when people leave when they see the real you? Why is that a good thing? Because you don't want to end up in inauthentic relationships. It's unsustainable. Can you imagine having to keep up a mask for years? Try to keep them liking you for years? No, never that. You need them to leave as soon as possible by being as real as possible. If you keep being real and they keep not leaving, then you might have a relationship with some potential. But if they leave, then let them go. Now you know. Faster we move through that process, the better. So be real from day one, from moment one, from the first text. Just be really real. Be really yourself.